And here, we'll just put a happy little tree. Oh god, okay, no tree, no tree! Ladies, gentlemen, and tarnished of all ages, there were a hell of a lot of things in the base game of Elden Ring that made it very special. And among all of these just ridiculous amounts of exploration that the game offered, one of the more interesting mechanics were the painting puzzles. You find a painting in one location, then you find the place where the painting was painted from, and that place will have a view matching the picture in your inventory, and you get a special reward for going there. Shadow of the Erdtree, of course, has carried this forward, and specifically, there are 3 new painting puzzles that today we're just going to go through all of in game progression order. We're going to talk about where the painting is, where the painting wants you to go, and what you get for going there. Without further ado then, painting number 1 is called Incursion, and the closest site of grace to where you pick it up is Cliff Road Terminus in the Gravesite Plains. If you have not been up here, there is simply a path you can follow up the cliff from outside of the Ballarat Tower Legacy dungeon nearby. From the Grace, head southeast the whole way along the cliff line past all the blood fiends and then also all of the electric sheep, which I do have to imagine is what robots dream of, and you will find the suspiciously climbable looking rock face. Surprise, surprise, it is, so climb up and you will find a shack at the very peak of this area with the painting sitting inside of it. As for the solution to this one, the closest site of grace to that is Great Bridge North, where you just get to by going, well, north from Three Path Cross. And from here, directly west of you, there is a small hill overlooking the lake that is right here on your map. Simply run up around here until you find the ghost that is in the chair looking towards Ballarat Tower so you can claim your reward. For those who want the surprise of what you actually get for this for themselves then, skip to the time on screen. Otherwise, what you actually get for this is the Serpent Crest Medium Shield. This thing is just absolutely gorgeous, just super ornate shield with winged serpents on it, and the unique part of the shield, aside from, the visuals of it, is that it is just the best in class medium shield at guarding fire damage specifically, which does mean for anyone using a medium shield in their build, this is technically the best that you will get when specifically dealing with things like furnace golems or any of the other high fire damage enemies that you'll come across plenty of in this expansion. Second up today then is the Domain of Dragons painting, and the painting itself is located in the Shadow Keep for this one. Specifically is it a bit backwards from the Storehouse first floor site of grace as the closest one to it. From this grace, go back down the elevator that you used to get up here to begin with, then when you are at the bottom, head past the Fire Knight that spawns down there, take a left turn at the intersection, making sure to signal and watch for incoming traffic, of which there are actually many small, tiny little men waiting to ambush you with their pointy weapons. So you just sort of want to ignore them and slide down this ladder over here on the left, and then you'll be in a little lower section. You want to walk to the right here under the little running water and along the path to find another ladder. Slide down this one all the way to the bottom, and then in the next room right over from the bottom of this, you will find the painting itself. It is also worth noting in this same room as the painting, there is an illusion wall that you probably do want to pop open and follow the path behind if you haven't been here before. As for where this painting actually leads you to go then, it is up on the Jagged Peak side of the map all the way to the southeast. If you have not been here, it is accessed through the Dragon's Pit Cave, and I'll leave the rest of getting through that up to you, but this is the path from the first grace of the Jagged Peak to the one that is closest to the actual location that we're heading towards, which is Jagged Peak Mountainside. From here, the path is a little bit confusing to just explain with words or make it speed up in the background, so I'll just let you watch the full path in real time for full clarity. Once you get here, you will find a chair, and then the ghost will pop in to give you your item reward once you stand beside him. Once again, skip to the time on screen if you want to just enjoy the surprising game yourself without knowing. Otherwise, the item that you get for this one is the Rock Heart reusable tool. There is another heart tool like this in the expansion, and that one turns you into a sort of dragonoid priest when used while naked, and it buffs specifically dragon cult incantations, so things like lightning spells. This one, however, the Rock Heart, instead turns you into an ancient dragon form, a much more terrifying but badass version of the similar mechanic, and instead of boosting ancient dragon cult incantations, this one specifically boosts dragon communion incantations, so your dragon transformation spells. These fulfill just a completely separate purpose from the other dragon heart as a result. It has different visuals, and this is just a really cool but extremely missable item if you don't know where to go. Third and lastly then, we have the Sacred Tower painting. The painting itself is super easy to find early on in the expansion, literally just northeast of the Scorched Ruins site of grace in the Gravesite Plains area that you start the DLC in. But the actual solution to this this is much later on, specifically while the location you go to for the painting is actually accessible quite early. The painting solution will only be technically correct if you have burned the ceiling tree as part of the progression of the main story, and then you go to this location. So this one does need to be done after you've done that state of progression for your game, and it's worth mentioning that that does also cut off a number of NPC quest lines if you've not completed them before it, so I definitely wouldn't rush it on this one just for the sake of the painting, at the very least. Just come back here when you're at this point. That said, once you have done this, it is actually just on the plateau where the northern nameless mausoleum is, right around 20 feet away from it, and for those who don't know how to get there, just for the sake of making it all very easy to follow, I've been showing the full path to get there from the North Ruins Site of Grace, which is just a much more obvious site of grace to find early on in the region. As far as the actual reward then, this one gives you a whole freaking seal, as in an incantation casting catalyst, specifically the spiraltree seal. This thing has reasonably good incantation scaling when upgraded and built for, but the special part of it is that it boosts all spiral incantations by 20%, which is, yes, a very limited number of incantations, but it is a very large number that it actually buffs them by. So there are only 3 actually spiral incantations. If you do want to use any of the spells, they are Giant Golden Arc, golden arcs, and Spira, one that you can only actually get after clearing the ceiling tree as well. That just about does it for today then, everyone. Just a quick little guide to the 3 painting puzzles in the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC, where to find them, how to solve them, and what you get for succeeding at this task. All in all, while the shield may be a bit underwhelming to people who don't use shields, there is a whole hidden secondary dragon form hidden behind this, and a new seal as well, so it's pretty solid as a whole. Like if you liked the video, subscribe to the notification bell for more, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, stay sweet.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.